multiple tenants paying, easier to cash flow on as opposed to buying single family. The direction I would steer them. Really hard to find anything in Fountain Square now. It's going to cash flow just because property values have risen so much.
One of the questions that we talked about on a previous episode, but I think it would be great to hear you guys kind of go back and forth with it too, is if you have a first-time investor who's got $40,000 that they want to spend on their first rental, where do you suggest that they start?
Like $40,000 in equity, we're looking to like use that as like down payment towards a property.
Yeah, $40,000 in cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's a decent starting point. So I mean that's enough for usually your 80-20 conventional. So something that gets you 200,000. So something that buy some solid. So with only $40,000 in cash, I'd probably try to stick with something that's turnkey because obviously that isn't going to leave you much room for cash on hand for needed repairs after closing, and or something that's potentially like already tenant occupied. So said 200. Like if you're able to leverage that $40,000 into doing a $200,000 conventional loan. So you can find some, some of those like solid, more like looking in those like C to like C plus to like C minus type neighborhoods that are, more up and coming emergent neighborhoods. Find some, multifamily. You can buy a 2-1, 3-1 duplex in that price range for like 150, 180. That's fairly turnkey. So that would probably be my advice on which way to steer them. Because obviously you're going to maximize your potential for cash flow when you have multiple units, so multiple tenants paying, easier to cash flow on as opposed to buying single family. So that's the direction I would steer them. Because
it's such a niche, Indianapolis focused podcast, could you name a couple neighborhoods that are kind of that fit that bill right now?
Yeah, I said that Riverside's an area that's seen a ton of reinvestment. So with that. Indy 11 like soccer stadium going in over there. There's been a lot of Arbor Homes done a bunch of new build communities over there. That's really pushed that neighborhood from I would say probably like 5 years ago before all this stuff was going on. It had been more of like a D-class neighborhood. It wasn't the greatest. It's adjacent to Hawville over there. It wasn't like the greatest part of town, but with all that reinvestment going on over there, I've seen a lot of investors jumping in that area, bringing the whole neighborhood up with it. And it's it's a right now I'd call it like probably a C with some C plus upside with potential to break into that B class neighborhood within the next, if it continues on its current path up to that go breaking into like a B minus type of neighborhood. That place is great. Said Twin Aire neighborhood's an area that's seen a ton of reinvestment. With that criminal justice center that went in over there, I have a lot of investors that have bought in over there. Some of your other like east side neighborhoods like Little Flower. It's another great area. Some of those areas like adjacent to Fountain Square. So like as Fountain Square really gentrified, and it's really hard to find anything in Fountain Square now. It's going to cash flow just because property values have risen so much because the two chicks and a hammer kind of ruined that for a future investor.
Yeah.
It kind of got oversaturated.
The word is out. Yeah. Same with Bates Hendricks.
So yeah, that area it's a lot harder to find potential cash flow in those areas, but some of those more adjacent neighborhoods like Fountain Square South, so now it's like even like the neighborhoods around it are just like copying it now. Like obviously you have like Fountain Square East and like Fountain Square South. It's just like all those areas around there that you're still close enough to Fountain Square to identify as Fountain Square ish. So
yeah. Yeah, East Fountain Square, South Fountain Square. I do see a lot of people still investing in those spots for cash flow. I have a duplex in East Fountain Square. You can check out our full library of episodes wherever you get your podcasts.